Hello YouTube and welcome to another recorded game of Age of Empires 3. Now in this video I'm going to show you how to boom your economy. So if you're not sure what booming means, then it means that you will be, or your main goal will be to make the very most out of your economy. So in a rush, you try and hit your opponent with as many units as early as possible. That's a very offensive game. With a turtle, you defend and you try and defend. And with a boom, you try and get your economy to be as strong as possible, and then you hope that you can fend off your opponent until your economy is at its strongest, and then you can roll over them with your incredible economy. So this was a ranked game on the 1v1 ladder. I am here in the red, playing as the British, and my opponent was in the blue, playing as the Inca. So this was played at about 1400 ELO. And yeah, that's where it was on the ladder. We were both very similar. As you can see, I'm just picking up the goats in the middle of the map there at the start. On Kamchatka, you always have the goats dotted around the map. There's usually about 4 in the middle, and then you have them dotted around the sides of the map as well. But my goal in this game is to hopefully defend off what will probably be a rush from the Incan player, because Brits are well known as a boom civ. So you kind of need to hit them early on. And my goal is to perform what we're going to call, or what is called, a VC boom, using this card here, the Virginia Company boom, which reduces your wood cost of your manors by reduces it by 35%. So it reduces the cost from 135 wood to about, I can't remember if it's 87, 80 or 89 wood, but it's around there somewhere. So to perform this boom, you have to get the early trading post, as you can see here, because you want to send in your 3 vills, and then you also want to send in the Virginia Company in Age 1. So I've opted to take a trading post in Age 1. Sometimes British players will opt to do the 2 houses or a house in a market, but I opt to do the trading post because I want to do VC. See, I've got the early shipment in of the 3 vills, and the next shipment that I send in will be the Virginia Company card. And then we go 700 wood, and then we go 600 wood, and then we see where the game's panned out from there. Basically, you send this card, you get your cheap manors. With the British, obviously, every time you build a house, you get a free settler, and then you maximise the cheap houses with the 700 wood, followed by the 600 wood. So we turn the view lock on, see what's happening. I've obviously spotted this treasure here. Get your little, you get your Duba the pet monkey, on Kamchatka. Obviously, the opponent has one of these as well, as we both attempt to herd in as many goats as possible. I just steal this one. His Duba is about to come into contact with my Duba. We're going to get a fight here. And the view lock on. Oh, I can't see it. It's literally just out of sight. As I just take a drink of water. Really, Age 1 is going to play out as Age 1 usually does. He's just stolen one of my goats there. I've just stolen one of his goats here. Swapping goats like there's no tomorrow. Actually, let's have a look at his deck. If I swap over. His deck. Got 300 wood. I've never played a single game as Inca, so I'm not 100% sure about the deck as such. I know that, you know, they always have these in queue. Does he have the road card? Yep, he's got road building. Makes his units quicker. Ginger brewing, food production of cancer houses, 50%. I didn't realize it was that strong. Actually, that is quite strong. Okay, yeah, so that's like an upgrade plus units. One set of Travois. Okay, that's an interesting card as well. So you can see now that I've aged up. I haven't actually quite got the shipment yet for VC, so what I'm going to do is probably here I'm going to put a market down. Getting the wood upgrade, your gang saw, which only costs 100 food, so your wood collection is a little bit quicker, because wood is a resource that you're going to need a lot of as the British. So it's usually good to get gang saw. With many civs you wouldn't bother getting gang saw, but with the British it does often pay off, because you have to chop a lot of wood to get your manors, and also longbows as well if you opt to do longbows. We just pick up, oh, I've walked away from it, that's a mistake, but I'll walk back. Almost, it didn't cost anything in the end. I'm going to try and take down his explorer here as he builds the TP. It's going to be a slow, long, arduous process. But anything to put the opponent off, I feel, at this stage. Just to distract them a little bit. Maybe they'll make a mistake. Is never a bad option. So Virginia Companies come in, and immediately we're putting 1, 2 manors down. So this is going to be an extra 2 settlers, 1 for each, 3. 1, 2, 3 manors down. And then we're going to look to get up a barracks almost as soon as we won't quite have enough wood. We need 200 wood for the barracks. But that's one thing to remember with a boom is don't completely neglect your military. You might have noticed that I've gone up with the 2 settlers and the 2 cows. That's quite a viable move with the British, but particularly when I've got the 2 cows and the 4 goats. That's a lot of food there, but that's quite a viable move when you're going for a boom. We used to see it happen with Sweden a lot. I'm not sure what the new meta is in Sweden, but they used to do it a lot as well. So the boom usage will often go for the 2 vills and the two cows, which come with about 400 food, which can be gathered up pretty quickly. So I'm putting my barracks up now. I don't play as the Brits that often, so I should have some people on coin. I don't because I have forgotten, and that's because I think my Brit home city on DE is only about level 19. I don't play as them very often. I played them as quite a bit on the legacy game, so I've kind of not forgotten how to play them totally, but I'm not up to scratch with them, if that makes sense. So I do need to pull over some bills on coin, and I probably think that these are me just realising that now. It is, yeah. And the 700 wood's come in, so we pick this up. Probably want to get a couple more vills on that, to be honest. And it's another villain queue as well, so I'm idling here, which isn't ideal. But yeah, we want to pick this up quickly. We want to get the manners down again, 2 more free vills, and really it shouldn't be idling here. The thing is, with the British is, at the start you've got such a lot going on. You need to put your barracks, you need to queue your muskets or your longbows or your huss. You need to be queuing vills, you need to be getting your mark upgrades. You also need to be putting your manners down. You want to be setting a gather point from your manners. So when the villagers spawn from the manners, they go, for example, to these trees or to these caribous. So there's quite a lot going on with the British. It's quite a simple build, but there's quite a lot going on in it, if that makes sense. If we just swap over to the opponent, see he's sitting currently on 19 vills with 7 cancer houses. Not sure what the trickle is. Yeah, 0.9. Is that the equivalent of like 1 vill, is it? Okay, there I go. I wondered why that was so quick. So yeah, that's equivalent of about 1 vill. So he's got 8 cancer houses and 19 vills. I've got 30 vills. I'm slightly ahead at this point. But really, I'm only sat on 90 mana population. That's soon to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 130 mana population. I'm going to pull ahead in terms of economy quite soon. There's not much of a trade route for him to take on this map either, which kind of plays into my hands. He can get 2 to my 1, but if it was like, a map with 4 trading posts or central plains with 5, then that might be easy for him to take map control and then, boost his economy that way, but he can't really do that on this map. Just as he pushes in, I notice him pull away the villager who looks like he's going to survive. The explorer scares them off, and 600 woods come in again here. So we're going to put more manners down with this, and at this point we're really kind of rolling with the economy. We're getting some longbows because these guys have 16 range and they pretty much shred through the musketeers. We get some longbows to counter his jungle bowmen, but always wary that if he brings in Chima runners, then they hard counter the longbowmen, essentially acting as cavalry. The Chima runners are the shock infantry. More manners going down, so that's 1, 2, 3 unbuilt, and these guys, yep, move them. See, I was on it. And we're stacking quite a bit more wood. 3 more manners there, 3 more manners here, so that's going to be 41 villagers. He's currently sat on 22, so you can see this is where the boom, the economy boom, really pays off. The British are one of the best civilizations at doing this, and have been ever since the game came out, really. Arguably, I think if the British came out now, people might argue that they were overpowered, but that's a question for another day. 39 vills. I think one of the things about the British is you do kind of have to play in age 2 because they haven't got the fast age up option, but they do have an incredibly strong economy and can fight in age 2. Just trying to move with my villagers there. They've passed, why didn't they go this way? Why didn't they go that way? They walked all the way around. Really annoying pathing in this game. At this point, we've got the 2 barracks because our economy is quite strong. We've actually not built that, which is a mistake. Because our economy is strong enough to support production out of 2. If I only had 1, then we'd be stacking a lot of units and we would have less on the field, or fewer rather, on the field, and that will play into the enemy's hands. So once your economy's raring and up, you want to get up as many military production buildings as you can support, which at this point is about 2. For me, he's got up his 2 war huts, which he got with the age up. At this point, 42 vills, I've got a lot more units. the boom's really paid off. I'm sat with 15 muskets, 18 longbows. You know, he's got 24 vills, I've got 44 vills, so it's not far off double, although he does have 11 cancher houses, so he's on about 36 vills really. You know, resource wise he's on about 36 vills. I'm on 44, but it's still a significant lead, and I've got 5 coming in here as well from the card. At this point it's quite difficult for him to push in, because if he makes Chima runners, they're countered by the muskets. You know, there's not much point in making spearmen because they're countered by both these units. And longbows are better versions of jungle bowmen. So this is quite a tough spot for him, particularly as I have quite a lot of food in my base. That's another good point about a boom, is that you want to try and herd in as many natural resources as possible, because it's all well and good having all of these villages, but if you have nothing for them to be doing, yeah, as they just stand there when there's a deer there, that's quite annoying. But yeah, you want to make sure you try and herd in as many animals as possible. You know, maybe I should be going for these here as well. But I do have plenty to feed on at the moment. I've started mixing husks because he has a lot of bowmen. So they obviously counter them, which is why I've started mixing those in. Because once I get the husks, I can really start pushing out, because that's going to make these have to run away. And when you can see, he's only got 2 units here that counter the hussars. And at this point, again, you know, I'm starting 180 mana population, so I can support 3 more. And 51 villagers compared to his 28. Just hiding the husks and then bringing them around the back so he doesn't expect them. I'm not sure what these guys are doing. And at this point, he's in quite a tough spot now. I mean, because I didn't have that many husks, he probably will be able to kill them, but not before they've done quite a lot of damage and separated my army from his, which is exactly what I want. I've even felt confident enough to move my villagers over to you know, use this herd up, because I know that my economic superiority first, but then military superiority based on that economic superiority is going to be enough for me to push out now. So you use all the resources in your base, and then once you have that economy, you can push out, as long as you don't leave your villagers too far from your army. You want to be getting your market ups at this point as well if you haven't already. I think I had a few, but once you've got 54 villagers, the market ups obviously make a lot more difference than if you had, you know, half of that number. So, you know, plus 10% on 54 villagers is worth, you know, 5.5 villages, which is quite a lot. 4 more husks coming out, and you can see at this point 55 vills. You know, we're almost halfway to the maximum, and we're still in age 2. So the Brit boom admittedly does slow down a little bit once you reach max manners, because that's your boom mechanic finished. Yeah. But by this point, you can really start to push into age 3, put down another town centre, and there aren't many, if any, civilizations that can keep up with a Brit who has been allowed to sit and to maximise the manners. You can see I don't think I was quite aware at this point about how, because I can't quite see his full army, I wasn't 100% sure how much superior in size my force was. I don't know, and I probably would have gone in further. And at this point is when he calls game, because, you know, there's 6 husks on the field. They could kill these by themselves probably, never mind what's supporting them. But the thing to mention is that what has allowed me to get to the stage where my economy is so superior to the enemies is that boom mechanic, which was which in the case of the British was manners, in the case of the Japanese is shrines, in the case of the Swedish is the torps. There are other civilizations that do booms, but these are kind of, you know, the main civs, and there are other civilizations with different boom mechanics other than just houses. But the British is kind of like the classic boom. You know, the Dutch can do a similar one with the banks, and, you know, there are other mechanics that allow you to do it as well. I've not actually studied the new civilizations, so I'm not sure what they're like in terms of booming, but this is, you know, the standard boom, the classic boom, the Virginia Company boom, and you can see just how that allows you to pretty quickly, really, you know, 12 minutes in, and we are a similar caliber of player. You know, we had a similar ELO. It was played on the ladder this game, and didn't have to wait long to get it. But it just goes to show how, you know, even the old strategies on this game, when used to their full potential, are still quite strong. So I hope if you are watching this video, then this did help you. If you did like the video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. It would help me very much. I'll be back with more Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition content in the future. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.